every year since I started making videos about music history. I've made one about Kurt Cobain in early April, a time when the entire music industry takes a second to reflect not only on Nirvana and Kurt, but also on the nature of the industry itself and the pressure that we put on artists in this increasingly plastic, hollow mainstream culture. We think about how tragic it is that the most creative, impactful, and artistically gifted individuals are often the most fragile, the most easily broken. This is my series where I'm talking about every Nirvana album in chronological order, and today is one of the only times you will see me include a live album in one of these series. Because the MTV Unplugged Nirvana album is an important piece of the band's story. MTV Unplugged was a series started by MTV in 1989 to showcase artists at their most stripped down. In a small setting, aired exclusively on MTV, they created an intimate atmosphere with these shows that often led to brilliant candid moments and heartwarming reactions from the crowd. MTV had been trying to get Nirvana on Unplugged for a while, but the band initially weren't that interested, having not really been that impressed with the others that they'd seen so far. So if they were going to do it, they wanted to do something different. At the time, they'd been touring with the Meat Puppets, and they invited them on stage for a couple of their songs. They also decided to play a bunch of interesting covers, among a few of their own tracks, to really give the event atmosphere. 3 of the covers were Meat Puppets songs, including Lake of Fire, also The Man Who Sold the World by David Bowie, and finally, Where Did You Sleep Last Night, which was a song that was originally titled In the Pines, and it's recognized as a traditional folk song, although it was the iconic Leadbelly who made it famous. Kurt's performance of that song is one of the most stunning 5 minutes of music ever caught on film. I've also talked about Kurt's performance of All Apologies during this show. It is my considered opinion that this is very much a goodbye from him. The tone of this song in the stripped down version is a lot different than the one on the album. More desperate and more devastating. MTV released Nirvana's Unplugged episode in December 1993, and it was a massive success. When Kurt died only 4 months later in early April, MTV aired the episode multiple times a week. People were begging for new Nirvana material at this point. They wanted every word that Kurt ever sang, ever spoke, ever wrote to be released, all in some kind of vain effort to feel closer to this fallen person. Bootlegs, of course, came out, and it was decided that they would release a live double album compiled of various performances, including the entire MTV Unplugged set. But when Dave and Chris started working on it, they found it to be really difficult in the wake of Kurt's passing and backed out of the project. In its stead, they decided to release MTV Unplugged in New York, which was released in November 1994, and it was huge. It debuted at #1 in the Billboard Top 200 charts and won Nirvana their only Grammy Award the following year.